I love roguelikes. They're the holy grail of video games that you can both play as a casual gamer or a competitive one. Except for maybe Souls-like games for some of you fellow masochists. But what Souls-likes don't get to share with roguelikes is that a roguelike can be of any kind. You got shooters and looters, cards and dice, dungeons and gungeons, and so much more. While Souls-likes kinda just naturally fall into a weird desolate world with swords and magic. Could go through so many more kinds of roguelikes that I've played, but we only have so much time. And honestly, they're getting kinda old. Most of them follow a pretty straightforward path. You start with nothing, you find something that gives you bonus health or damage, you take it because you can, you get the money, you get the upgrades, you die, you start over, and eventually you win because you're just that powerful. I got tired of it. Each death almost felt meaningless in most games. Dead Cells is one of my favorite games of all time. I love that each death has its own value. There's only a minuscule chance that your doom was not your fault. However, it doesn't pull off a very good job when it comes to its combat. My best friend, who's a pure monkey brain, can just get a weapon, spam the left mouse button, and clear through all the enemies. He's not a champion at the game, he's only reached third difficulty so far, but he's getting there. Is it bad game design? No, probably not. Just doesn't satisfy the exact energy I want from a roguelike. Before this video, I had a whole nother video that was gonna talk about how brilliant Dead Cells is and how it is so close to being the best roguelike game ever made. And I was very close to finishing it. But then this devil showed up. Babe, wake up! Poker 2 just dropped! Would be your reaction if you had a girlfriend, but if you're watching this video, probably don't. Welcome to Poker but with extra steps. You might not have heard of it, it's a pretty small game and came out recently. Or not, depending on when this video comes out. The base game is based on forming poker hands out of a regular playing card deck with the 8 card hand you get and scoring enough to beat the fight. If you don't understand what I mean, just keep watching. It's really simple, I promise. Your pattern can be just a singular card, a pair, 2 pair, 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, 5 numbers in a row, 1 suit and 5 cards, a 3 of a kind and a pair, or maybe even 5 numbers of the same suit in a row. Now, you don't have to remember all of this, and it's okay if you're not familiar with poker. This is the only, albeit the most important part of actual poker that is relevant to how you play the game. There are other terms used to spice up the aesthetic of the game, but that's to make it feel like it's a real casino-like game. And also, you can just click run info to see anything. Anyway, the game is split into 8 antes with 3 blinds, therefore 24 total rounds. Some of you might think that's not a lot of levels, and to that I say, no. At the end of each ante there's a boss, which have their own gimmicks, such as disabling a suit of cards, disabling face cards, only letting you play one hand, having no discards, etc. But for now, let's start small and select our first blind, and well, what do you know? Each hand has a base chip and a base mult value. Your cards scored, not played, pay attention, each have a base chip bonus. Aces are 11, faces are 10, number cards are face value, blackjack rules. You can select up to 5 cards, no more than that. You don't like them, you can throw them away with a discard. If you like them, you can play them with a hand. Congratulations, you played your first hand. Nice score. Let's keep on going. Now, the first blind is pretty easy as long as you don't play just 1 or 2 cards. You'll get the base money, $1 for each hand remaining, and if somehow you started with 5 or more dollars, an extra dollar for that. Every $5 grants you an extra dollar. Take a shot every time you heard the word dollar. Once you cash out, you'll find a shop. Here, you'll find 3 sections: the cards, the packs, and the vouchers. Cards are simple. You buy them, they get added to their respected slots, and you get ripped off of your money. Usually, there's 3 types of cards available: There's planets, tarots, and the crown jewel of the whole game, jokers. Next up are packs. Packs can be of 5 types, and each of them come in different sizes. There's the standard pack, which, you might have guessed, allows you to add more cards to your deck as if it's freaking Hearthstone. If you're lucky, you might also notice there's certain quirks on some of your cards that you can add. Again, that's for later. Then, there's the Arcana pack. These feature 22 tarot cards and a secret one that allows you to give straight boosts to your cards or jokers or your own self. These cards help you define your runs and are probably the most important ones other than jokers. Following that, there's the Celestial pack, featuring your favorite celestial bodies from your local system and 4 more as a DLC. These cards level up your hand types. The 9 planets are assigned the 9 hand types. Every level up increases the base chip and mult value by an arbitrary amount, which increases as hands become more valuable. Then there's the Buffoon pack. They let you add jokers. And finally, the Spectral pack. Now, I have no mathematical proof in this and only a few hours worth of experience. But Spectral packs? They're kinda rare though. And for a good reason, I might add. Spectral packs feature cards that can radically change your rounds ahead. You wanna change some of your cards to the same rank? That's -1 hand size. You want more jokers? Again, -1 hand size. You want lots of money? Get rid of your cards. You wanna duplicate a joker? Get rid of the rest. Those were the packs. Then there's the vouchers. I won't get into them that much. You could say they're the most permanent upgrades you will get. They can offer upgrades for the run, such as an extra hand or a discard, more money per $5, finding playing cards in the shop, and literally nothing. Anyway, this guy named Jimbo just handed me a slip. Talk about jokers on this. Alright, well, I guess it's time we talk about jokers. Ah yes, the crown jewel of the game. You know, this is the only game where jokers have actual value. Too much value. There's a grand total of 150 jokers in this game, and you start with about 105 of them. They all have different abilities. Some boost your chip count, some boost your base mult, some multiply your base mult, and some are utility. Some are very powerful, but they often have conditions that can be game ending, but their reward be game saving. Some are quite weak, but still useful early game, as the conditions are often always met or very easily met. Take this misprint. It always triggers, but you don't know what this tricky land has to offer you. It can be a grand total of nothing or a huge plus 23 mult. Or this Mystic Summit doesn't always trigger, but if you play your hand with 0 discards, it gives you a plus 15 mult. Or this Card Sharp, it doesn't trigger for the first hand type you play, but if you repeat the same hand type, it triples your mult. How nice! Or this Stuntman, this dastardly devil grants you 300 chips, a huge increase in chips, but also such daring feats cause you to have a much smaller hand to play with. Oh, and also we have Jimbo over there. He gives you a plus 4 mult. But jokers don't always have to give you a chip or mult bonus. Some jokers can change the rules of the game or boost your economy. Take this Pareidolia. Because of it, all of your cards are treated as face cards. It doesn't seem as powerful normally, but if you pair it with something like a smiley face and a scary face, which grant you plus 4 mult and plus 30 chips respectively for each face card played, you've got a pretty solid synergy. Now, you might be watching this video and you might have seen the title and the premise and the tags of the game and go, doesn't sound that addicting to me. And honestly, I get it. This game is an enigma in design. It's a poker roguelike deck builder. A poker roguelike deck builder. Deck builders are cool. I'm sure there's a lot of games that are deck builders. We've got Slay the Spire, Inscription, Hearthstone, One Step from Eden, Magic the Gathering. But it's still a pretty daunting task to pick and choose what cards you want to add or remove, and maybe miss out on a strong card and never say it again. Roguelikes are cool. That's what I've been talking about for the whole video. They're considered to be some of the hardest video games of all time. They ooze challenge, and the reward is mostly a neat symbol that says beat the game, and the internal satisfaction that dies immediately when some asshole on Reddit tells you that you only finished the tutorial or how they did it in 30 less hours than you. And poker. My god, poker. I have a confession to make. I like poker. It's a good game, and I am not a gambling addict, but the thrill of the unknown, deceiving or psyching your enemies out with your cards and the community cards is something I can't help but gravitate towards. I mean, this game literally ruins and makes lives. But in general, people stay away from poker. It's gambling, it's sinful in so many cultures, and for many, unlike me, it's an addiction. There's a reason why this game got banned or restricted in so many countries, and the issue still hasn't been resolved. Because it looks like a gambling game. Oh hey Genshin, what do you got for me? Ooh, a new banner! And yet, here I am, attracted by all three of these tags. I mean, I literally went, holy shit, someone actually did it, when I saw the game that is described as the poker roguelike. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself too much though. I wanna talk about why this game is so addicting, minus the gambling, because there really isn't any. Remember when you played your first hand? I find it so satisfying hearing the chips go up, then the mult get added or multiplied with just the nice, and then the total score gets calculated and added up. The cards you've played or discarded getting added back to your deck so nicely, and the money coming in to be cashed out by you as you see your mortal foe perish into oblivion, all while such a nice tune plays in the background just like. There's no going up from the soundtrack unless you're ultra. But that's another topic for another time. By now, you've unlocked quite a few jokers, not discovered all of them, but you're close to completing your collection. You've won a few stakes, not too many and only on the base difficulty. But sooner or later, you'll find something truly satisfying. Because sometimes, when you play a hand, this happens. Now this is the point of no return. You have beaten the blind in one go, and this might be in the middle of your run where you have made a pretty powerful setup, or at the start of the run where your hand type was strong enough to beat the hand anyway. Let me say this again. You have beaten the blind in one hand. 4 hands to play? Nuh-uh. You only need one. The rest are petty and you're tired of having it. You find jokers that on their own are solid, but you keep finding jokers that synergize with each other. And soon, they could break the game. But for now, you don't think of them much. Maybe it was just luck that let you beat the blind. But no, something is special about these jokers. You keep going, you keep beating blinds. You find jokers, good jokers. They just keep adding more to your score and you keep on going. There's no way to describe how it feels to have such a beautiful run, such tranquility, other than just this. You continue beating blinds and you swim in money. You keep re-rolling and re-rolling. You find good jokers, but you don't want good jokers. You want the best jokers. You buy the vouchers and the packs you need to further support your jokers. You convert and destroy your cards however you please until you refine it to be the best. This is the perfect deck. This is the perfect hand. You win again using just one hand to beat them all. But this time, you don't stop at the win screen. You know how good your build is. Your hand literally looks like this. You want to continue. You want to see how far it goes. You don't click new run or main menu. You go endless mode. Unsurprisingly, you knock even these absurd antes out of the park, as if they're nothing but inconveniences. You feel unstoppable, unflappable, infallible. But suddenly, this happens. No, this can't be, you think to yourself. How could I? How could I have been so foolish? Your fists clench, tears start filling your eyes. You deserved this. You knew this would happen. You went too close to the sun, and now it's time to fall, Icarus. Your run ends, but the tears subside. You did good, but you want to do better. You will do better. Endless mode isn't an obligation. It genuinely feels optional. You beat anti-8, good job. But it fuels the temptation of how far can I go to see if what you made was just enough or truly something magnificent. There really is no reward for continuing to play endless. Hell, you automatically lose by anti-39 because the game can't compute beyond 1.7 E308. If you don't know what that means, it's just 17 with about 307 zeros after it, or about 17,000 centillion, or 17 times 10 to the power 307. In short, big number. I haven't even talked about all the base mechanics of the game though. There's card enhancements, 8 unique bonuses that provide something such as bonus mult or chips when played, or bonus X mult or money when not played, rather stored away in your hand. There's seals for accessories to all cards that have their own gimmick, such as re-triggering the card's bonuses, granting you a tarot card for discarding it, a planet card for keeping it, and some money for playing it. Then there's additions, the bigger brother of enhancements. There are similar bonuses with the addition of the negative addition, which grants you an extra consumable or joker slot. So, with all that knowledge, you feel a sigh of relief. You're done with the run. It's time to start another. You start seeing things a different way. You start winning. Start to explore new decks and new difficulties. Eventually, you win your first gold stake. Then you keep winning gold stakes. Then you win gold stakes with every joker there is to play with. It's an arduous journey, and it will take hundreds of hours to do so. But if you're persistent enough, it will happen. You think to yourself that that's all there is to this game. But then you remember challenges. The challenges this game has to offer are insane. I didn't even touch them before making this video because seriously, some of them are mad. Seriously, there's a challenge where you have to beat the game without jokers? Insane! You know what? I'm just gonna go back to my white stakes, have a nice relaxed run, and hey, what's this? I've never seen you before. Because there's mods! Yep, this game has mods. And I can't lie to you, the talent this community has is impressive. The Alchemy mod pack is one of my favorites so far, and it really feels home to what this game is about. There's no Steam mod support yet, but it's still very easy to mod your game. The content for this game is quite literally endless, and that circumvents back to why this game is so addictive. I have recommended this game to so many of my friends, but they refuse to touch it because it involves gambling, or that it has too much math, and that it's too confusing. But in earnest, this game is one of the most straightforward roguelikes there is to offer. All information is given to you in a crystal clear fashion. Pretty much all cards have their information given out in at most 2 sentences and 15 words. No percentages, flat numbers, clean wording. Once you unveil the poker roguelike veil from this game's somewhat catch-22-esque design, you find a nice and relaxing game of mathematics and strategy. There's no lore or quests or any other goals given by the game other than beat the score and a few achievements. You can take as many or as little runs as you want to do so. You can do what you want without pressure not imposed by you. There's no bizarre or cluttered artwork that takes place in a weird fantasy land or in space or in a wasteland. It's just you and your cards in a clean and solid UI waiting for you to select your next blind. The last thing I want to touch is a video on the cursed design philosophy of this game, how, according to the creator of the game himself, people get deterred from not knowing how much their hand is gonna score beforehand. And I get it, a score preview would be nice, but that takes away so much from the game's fun and relaxed style. You find a build a hand that you like, you see how high up it goes, you listen to the stimulating score noises and see whether or not you barely beat the blind or know that you'll skyrocket past 4 more blinds with ease. It's supposed to be fun. You click on cards, you look how they play out and further your strategy afterwards. There's mods that let you see your score beforehand, but what's the fun in that? Why skim through so many possibilities for the best hand when you can go, ooh, all 5 of these are hearts instead? And unless you're playing for this game's invitational series, and my god, you guys are insane, you probably won't need to see your score anyway. And unlike Binding of Isaac, the thing hidden away from you is the score. Can you imagine how perilous this game would be if every Jokers, every Tarots, every Spectrals, every Celestials, every enhancement, every seal and every addition was hidden away from the player, and the only way you could tell what it did is for you to figure it out, and even then you have to remember what the damn cards do forever? It would be a nightmare. The game wouldn't skyrocket, it would explode like the Challenger. This game only sold 1 million copies for a huge success, while it should be making much more for such a brilliant game because of the connotations it carries with it. It's the stereotypical big burly guy with lots of scars you see and are intimidated by. But the moment you interact with him, you realize what a joy he is. Is the game perfect? In my eyes, pretty much, yeah, but for you it might not be. But go play this game, see what it has to offer, and I assure you that you will find joy in gaming that you haven't had before. I mean, there's a reason why there's a new genre in the making called casino-like now. Sure, the game is hard, but that's the thrill of a roguelike, and it always will be. Well, that was my review. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you're sold on how good this game is, how incredible, brilliant, and revolutionary this game is, dear viewer. I genuinely find this game so good, and I can't help but tell others how good it is. And to my friends that watch this video, I hope you guys see how important this game is to me. And also, maybe even curb your accusations of me being a gambling addict. I am not a gambling addict, okay? I am not a gambling addict. Anyway, the other reason I made this video was to just see how I work with video essays. I had so many things in mind, but none of them worked out. I mentioned before about that Dead Cells video. Maybe it will come out, maybe it won't. Who knows? And also to try to improve my speaking skills, because as you can hear and as you have heard, it isn't that good. It really isn't. I hope the audio wasn't too rough. I don't necessarily have a very good mic, nor was my voice too annoying or insufferable to continue watching this video. And also, I'm too scared to pronounce how this game is actually pronounced. That's why I didn't mention its name. People online are savages. Also, I lied. It is Balatro. I'm not afraid to say. No!